Hey party people, welcome back to MVM, and today I'm here with a preview for Kinfire Delve, Vainglory's Grotto. This is published by Incredible Dream Games. It is a 1 to 2 player game, cooperative game, where you can actually expand this with other future delving titles to make it a 1 to 4 player game. If you don't know what this universe is, Kinfire, you never heard of it at all, well, backers have just received their Kinfire Chronicles Nightfall, where they delve into this world. In this world, in this extension of this world, a standalone box, you are seekers and you are going to go inside of this well, delve into this well to take out one of these bosses. It's up to you, your shared pool of health, to work together to play cards and support each other, chuck some dice, and take out these challenges. You will have 4 different challenges to deal with on your turn, and you're going to be playing cards to put progress on them. Then you will defeat those, and you'll continue to possibly delve deeper in here. But those challenges are not so easy, and that's why you need the support of your friends. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's just go ahead and show you how this plays, and hopefully it'll give you enough information to decide if this is the game for you. All right, so we have our 2 characters here. They are from this universe here. We have Kor and we have Asha of Brillbrook. These 2 characters also have a lantern card. It's going to charge up and flip over, and we'll talk about that later. And then they have their skills deck. We have given ourselves 7 cards. This is based on how many players there is. This can be played solo. There's a different number of cards you would have. And we also have our share pool of health, which is 10. That's a D10 right there. And our dice, which we're going to use for our dice pool to also help contribute with these obstacles. Speaking of which, we have some gauntlet cards here, which we'll get to when we get to the boss. There is an exhaust deck, the well deck, which we're trying to get through, and we also have progress tokens, which will be added to cards, and then we have a couple challenges that have started us out. Now I want to put your attention to this Vainglory here. There are 3 of these in the game. You're going to shuffle those up, and you're going to put one face down. I assume that you can put one, you can choose which one you want to do for the specific challenge, but that's up to you. So you have your 4 cards around here, and there are different types of cards, and they are different colors. This game is built around colors, red, blue, green, and also white. So they also have symbols that will show you what those colors are too. So if you do have trouble with the colors, you also have symbols to look at as well. So we're going to get started and just delve into what this game does here. So we have our cards here. The challenges have the numbers that we're trying to beat. They also have the rewards if we beat them. Typically, we are going down. We're going to discard cards from here, discard challenge cards from the well deck, and go through the deck until we get to the bottom. But then there's also things, if we don't complete the challenge, we're going to have penalties that happen. It could be discarding cards, losing health, all kinds of things, or even retreating back up the deck. And that's kind of not what we want to do, right? That's not what we want to do. We want to go down. We don't want to go back up. But that's one of the penalties that could happen in the game. I'm going to go ahead and start with one of my characters. It's kind of a choice of what you want to do. There's always different things that you can do to choose who's first. But I'm going to go ahead and start with my character. And there's a couple things I want to point to your attention. What you're going to do in your turn to start your turn is you're going to play a card if desired. You can go ahead and draw back up, but there is a penalty for doing so, and we'll get to that. But you have different things that happen on your card. I am playing a green card, and when I play this green card, I can decide which of these green challenges I want to. If I play a white card, I can decide any of these challenges I want to use them for. But on the top of this card, we have a 3 that's going to be contributing to one of these 3 challenges, and also at the bottom we have these different support numbers, which I'm going to show you what that is. But there's always sometimes there are different things in here that give you different benefits based on certain things here. Like for example, this one says outside the box. I have 2 here, but if I get a +2 if attempting a puzzle. So this is one of the options that I have, and as you can see, there are cards that have 2 colors on them. But I'm going to start out here. I'm going to play obstacle here, and it says I'm going to play against this obstacle 7, Crystal Caves. I have to get a 7, but currently I'm contributing a 3. So it looks like I'm going to need some support. And how do I do that? Well, your support character can play up to 2 cards to help you out. Now I am going to play this card here. It's 5. I'm going to play 5. This one here. So we're going to get to 5. I'm going to play this here for this green, supporting it. So it'll be a +2, +3, and we have a total of 5. Now we go to the dice. There are 4 dice in this game. You have a white option on one of the die, and then you have this icon here. Sometimes that icon can be used for positive things. Most, if not all the time, it's going to be negative. So you're paying attention to this. This is actually used during the boss part. So we're going to go ahead and roll these. We're looking for some greens, baby. We did not get any greens. So we got some blues, and you won't be re-rolling these things. So we have a total of 3, 5, and then I have 6. So I will put 6 progress on here, and it will stay on here. Now, I want to look at the card because there may be some conditions that will help me. It says, when attempting this challenge, if you roll one of these, you complete it. So I could leave this progress on here. In a normal situation, it would probably just be staying on here and another player can continue and finish that challenge, but it looks like I hit the condition for defeating this. So what we'll do is we'll take this off, we'll look at the reward, and the reward for this one here is not delving, but it's going to give us our lantern. A lantern is this cool ability that they have. It's like a kind of like it's almost like in certain video games you have like a charged ability, or you just have a super move. This is like the super move. It is a white card. It also has more power than you would ever have on a card, and it also has a nice little kickback here. So it says after this action you may discard up to 2 other challenges. So it's a nice little way to wipe the board. Eclipse, Sight's Twilight. So what we do is here we take this card, we flip it over here and create a stack, and then we replace this with here. We replace it with another card, and then we put these 2 back there. Now, I want to talk about something that happens in this game that you got to watch out for. What we're doing now is, you notice how I played a card, and now my partner played a card. We got to watch out, okay? There is a threat in this game by helping other people. It helps to help other people, but it also is a threat because you may get exhausted. Let's just play out another round to show you how some things work, but then we'll talk about what could potentially happen. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt this here. I'm going to attempt the 3 fountains. I just want to stick with that. It's a little harder to do, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a go. I'm going to play this one here, kindness. How about that? We're going to play kindness. Kindness is a 2, okay, and it is a white, so that means I can use it for anything, and I will. So I'm going to use this one here, but it also says after this action, choose a seeker to draw 2 cards. So this is another way where you can kind of get cards in your hand without resetting or exhausting yourself. So we're going to use this one for 2. I'm going to ask for some support from another character, and I am going to see if I can use something for a trap. I do not have anything for a trap, but I do have something that can give them +2. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one for +2. So now we have a total of 2 and 2, which is 4. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll this dice and see what happens. All right. So we got 2 more. And what this does is, and we want to pay attention to this icon because it potentially means something, is now we're going to have 2, 4, 6. Okay, so we're going to take our 6 progress and put that on here. Okay, I want to make sure I don't forget to draw those cards, 1 and 2. And then we have something that's going to happen here because we did not finish the challenge. We're going to lose 1 health. But we also want to look at this. It says, if failed, suffer +1 for every other 3 fountains in play. If completed, triple its award for every other 3 fountains in play. So it has a huge potential benefit depending on what's the state of these cards around the area. So you got to watch out for that. You also got to watch out for this vainglory. It says when attempting a challenge, it gains +1 difficulty for every other challenge with the same name. So you have all these things that could stack up against each other. Just pay attention. And I should mention there are challenges in here that you can kind of use if you want to, mark off something, you want to add challenge to the game. You can kind of do these little quests that are inside of the book to show you, just to kind of give you some additional difficulty if you so choose. Make sure you take a look at that if you are interested. All right, so we only have 6 progress on here. It looks like we're going to take a damage, and I don't have anything. Usually there are cards that have reducing damage. There are plus cards on here. There's cards with multiple things. There will be conditions sometimes, like this one says, versus an obstacle, it's +3. So you can help and support leaning into what the character does best. But we have here, we're going to go here, here, and it looks like we're going to take 1 damage here. So we're going to go down to 9. Okay. All right. Now, hopefully that gives you an idea of how the turn works. You're going to play a card. If desired, you're going to support each other. And then you're also going to resolve this. If you resolve the challenge, we just showed you an example of resolving the challenge and you get the awards. We're also going to show you if you resolve this challenge, you're going to have something happen. And let's see what we can do here. Eventually, what will happen is if we hit this number, we will also be able to delve. And this is the most common thing that will happen in the game. You will have this number that will show you how far you go down. You'll go down 1, 2, 3. And it's different for every card. Some will go down as far as 4 and 5. So you're paying attention to that. Take this card, move it over, and you're going to go deeper and deeper into this deck. You're going to have this stack. But what will eventually happen is you may have to go through this deck and you have no cards left to draw. Well, we'll get to what that does, but first, what if you don't have enough cards at all and you really just gonna say, hey, you know what, I need a refresh on my hand. Maybe you've been supporting too much, so you don't have enough cards here. Well, you have these exhausted cards. Lord have mercy. Okay, these cards are different types of cards that give you a penalty for for refreshing your hand in a sense. So it is a choice, but eventually you will have to do this according to how you're playing your cards. So you really want to watch out how much you support, or you just want to pay attention to how you're playing out your hand on your turn. But there are different penalties on each one of these. You have consumed here what actually could finish the game, finish the game. And you also have cards, this one here, refilled the board with 1 fewer challenge. You have just different types of cards that come out here, and they will stay in there for the whole game. So they're going to affect your whole experience. It's going to make things a lot tougher, put a lot more pressure on you. So you definitely want to pay attention to those and try your best to not get through this deck as often as possible. So what happens if you get through this entire deck? What will happen is all these cards will go away. And they would be, if they're challenges, they would be over here. We would flip over our Vainglory card here, and now we would have our boss for the game. We would also put these gauntlet cards around our boss. And we would play the game as normal unless it says something that would change. Okay, so for example, this Dreadweaver, we're looking for this icon. It would cause something to happen, but it says +2 difficulty for every card attached to Vainglory. So you're going to have to deal with these cards in order to start taking it out. So when you start playing this challenge, you cannot attack the main guy here. You cannot attack them. They are immune to all colors, even white. But here's the catch. If you start to take out the minions, the gauntlet cards, I should say, when you start taking them out, what happens is you flip this over and they become vulnerable to a color. So at this point, they are now vulnerable to red, and you can start attacking this challenge. Okay? The problem is, as you do this, you may also have situations where you don't get a vulnerability. So now you're in a situation where all that work maybe didn't pay off. But as you can see for this one here, it's very important that you get +3 difficulty for each card attached to Vainglory. So you want to basically knock those things down. It's always to your advantage to take out these cards. One of the other bigger threats in this game, in this moment here, is when you roll this here. Each one of these enemies has something different when you roll this icon. And they're all going to have something on here that may possibly hurt you or injure you if you do not complete the challenge. But this is typically how you're going to play this game. You're going to continue playing cards until you get to the bottom of this deck, fighting this boss, trying to find its vulnerabilities, and ultimately you are going to try to take the boss out. If you survive and you have enough health at the end, you will win the game. If you do not have any health, you will lose the game. There's different ways, there's different challenges to start this game out. On the easy mode, making it more difficult, but this is an example of the base game. Let me know what you think. All right, this is in the Kinfire Chronicles universe. This is the Kinfire universe, but this one is a small box version called Delve. It is a standalone experience. Hopefully, I gave you an informed, helped inform you today, so you can check out this game. You can decide if you want to check out this game. All right, party people. I would like to thank Incredible Dream for sponsoring this video, and I'd like to thank you folks for your time. You take care. You have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me on MVM.